This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. If you love your dog, you're going to love what we have for you today. We're going to help you train your dog, at least get a better understanding to get them to do what you want, maybe modify behavior. We're going to talk about markers today. That doesn't mean that you should go grab the Sharpie and the Flair pen, different types of markers. And this is courtesy of the man behind Dare2Bond dog training out of Chattanooga. Jeff McJunkin is back on the program with us. How are you doing today?
Oh, pretty good, Steve. You doing all right?
Yeah, a little bit of snow, like 2 feet here in New York, and in Tennessee, looks like. When was the last time it snowed there? Kind of curious.
Just a few weeks ago, we had a couple of inches, and this morning we had some flurries, but nothing stuck.
Wow, is that kind of average, for the winter there?
Yeah, here in the past 10, 15 years, yeah. 30 years ago when I was a kid, 40 years ago when I was a kid, we'd get a couple of feet a year. And I used to have sleds.
Wow.
But we haven't been able to do that in a long time.
Well, same thing here in the New York area. It's been fairly mild winters, and we'd always joke about it. Hey, we passed another one. We got through that one, but I think Farmer's Almanac was talking about a very heavy winter here, and they were right this time. So you pilot through, and if you have a dog, a little bit more of a challenge if you got to get them outside. So when we got together last time, one thing I do remember that was, along with everything else being impactful, but particularly the treats. All treats are not created equally. When you want to get positive outcome from your dog, you got to be mindful of what you're treating them with, right?
Yes, very. Because there's different values of treats to each dog. And so like a lowest value treat would be something like a Cheerio. With most dogs, they will work for it, but not as hard as they'll work for a chicken or a homemade treat like tuna fudge or something like that. Or steaks. Some dogs steaks. Turkey. If they're allergic to chicken, use turkey. Yeah.
Who would do anything for a Cheerio anyway?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even think of a Cheerio. Huh.
Oh yeah.
What is this thing called markers?
Okay, markers are so like you have your positive marker, yes, and you go yes with the body language. Your negative marker, too bad. Now throw my hands up and do the circle, too bad. And then your terminal marker, break. So what that is, if I put a dog into a sit, break the terminal marker, I tell them that, and they can go about their business. So they stop the break and walk off, or come to me if I pat them to me. Too bad. That's the negative marker. That means you did not do what I asked, and you are not going to get a treat. You're not going to get a reward. We got to try again. And yes is the positive marker. You did it right. Here's your reward, whether it's praise, treat, toy, play. So that gives you a basic level of communication with your dog. And timing is very important with your markers. So like if I ask a dog to sit and it does it, then within 3 seconds, I want to tell that dog, yes, and you did it right, and get that treat ready. Have it ready to go. Yeah.
Wow. Let's look at how you convey to your dog that they didn't do what was expected. Let's look at that.
Okay. So that would go like if I ask Loki here to speak. He didn't really do it. So I'm going to go, too bad. And I'm going to walk around and away. And what I'm doing when I turn that way away from him, I'm breaking the interaction. And that's to a dog, that's like a major punishment. They want interaction. They want to be part of what you're doing.
Wow.
And when you break eye contact and turn away and give a good, clear body language, like I'll throw my hands up like this, because there's no mistaking that. I say, too bad. He knows because I work with him so much that means he didn't do what I asked him to do. So I wanted a good speak out of him. Speak. Yes. Good job. Good boy. I had the treat ready to go within 3 seconds. The marker came immediately as soon as he did it. I was yes, and coming in with the treat. So,
wow. That that is fascinating, Jeff. I've never seen that done before, and It's almost as if they didn't do what was expected, you're basically saying, all right, you lose. And then
Yes.
I'm walking away. I got nothing for you. That's it. You didn't do it. Like, it's very obvious that even to a human, if you did that to a human, they'd be like, oh, whoa, like, I feel bad. I that hurt.
Yeah. Like just now, he barked when I didn't want him to. I didn't ask him to. And he's got a barking problem. He likes to demand things. He barks a lot. You know, he's learning. I teach them to speak so I can teach them not to. So I teach them speak, speak. Yes.
Hmm.
He gave me a little one. And if he's in a barking fit, like when I can get him really going, then I'll go enough. And what that's teaching him is hand signals. So when he gets to barking too much, like when guests come over or something, I can tell him enough. And he knows, okay, I stopped barking. Give him the reward.
Hand signals
So
are
I teach him.
essential.
Oh, very. Yeah, dogs don't speak English at first. So they'll learn a few words, 1 or 2 syllable words, but body language is their language. So
Wow.
all the hand signals, the things I do, like I don't teach sit this way. Although they used to teach sit because you would use the treat and you would, where the head goes, the tail follows, and you would lure them back into a sit. But we point when we talk as humans. We just do that. You know, we use a lot of hand gestures like this. But this for a sit, we don't do that very often. So they know that is for them. And that's how I put them into a sit. Very clear, distinct body language. And then you combine that with the word, and eventually you'll get to a point where you can just tell them sit, they'll sit. They learn that that means the same thing as the body language. But you can actually train the dog silently at first with just the body language.
And that's the first command I learned was the sit command.
Yes. Yeah,
Wow.
It should be. So I try to teach dogs sit and hand targeting, the touch, first thing out the gate. Those are the two most useful cues that you can give your dog, that you can teach them.
Can you explain that, hand targeting?
Hand targeting is, let me get him to do it. Come here, buddy. Yeah, this is a new deck. He's not used to jumping up here. So hand targeting, good boy, good sit. Touch. So see, he'll come out and touch my 2 fingers, and I'm going at a 45-degree angle. So again, it's clear body language. There's your treat. Good boy. So Loki, he'll do it down here too. Touch. Yes. Good job. So to teach them that, you hold your treat between your 2 fingers and get it right in front of their nose and say touch. And then you just give them the treat out of your fingers, and you'll slowly increase that distance from being right on their nose. You'll just slowly work it out however far they'll go. Touch. Yes. And of course, tell him yes, give him the good marker for it. And eventually he'll run like a torpedo a half mile, or not a half mile, a half acre, which is my fenced in area back here to train in. It's a half acre. He'll run fence to fence to hand target. He's so happy about it.
Now, what's the purpose of the hand target? How would you use that other than providing them with the treat?
It's a great way to refocus their attention. So if you can't get them to make eye contact to refocus, then you can get them to hand target, because they are so used to getting that treat out of here. They're just willing to do anything to come and touch your fingers. Also, it's a good non-emergency recall. So if they're chasing a bird or something, but if they're just kind of wandering off and you need them to come back to you and they're not on leash, like out in your yard or something, you just want them to come back next to you, because they learn to ignore their name over time. So it just gives you another tool in your arsenal. You can go touch and hold your hand down and they'll come to that. Okay, bag blowing got his attention.
Yeah. What would you say is the most challenging command? And I'm talking, we're going for the easy ones now, with the sit command. Let's go layers deeper. By the way, I'm home. I can hear my cat. He hears the conversation and he wants to come in. Yeah. It's like a dog.
Yeah.
The most challenging one, what would you say?
The most challenging one to maintain is recall, because they get so used to hearing their name all the time. It becomes background noise. Oh. That is definitely the most challenging. Other than that, if you have a problem with a dog jumping, most clients have a difficult time teaching a dog not to jump on guests. And third would be controlling their energy, teaching them to turn themselves off.
Now, since it's such a common one where Yeah, if company comes over, dog gets excited, jumps up. How do you prevent that or minimize that?
I would put them on leash at first. So when you know your guest is coming over, be prepared. Have your dog on leash. When they come in, if the dog stays calm at a certain distance, say 10 feet away, reward that. Yes, good job. Give them the reward. And then move a little closer. That's you want to keep them from what I call redlining, from pull in, from lunging, trying to get to them. So you reward the behavior you want. So while they're calm, reward it. If they start acting up, the jump, things like that, you increase the distance, break the interaction, even have them walk back out the door and start over. It takes a while at first. It can take an entire hour-long session to get a dog to the point where it will approach the person can come in the door and they can approach calmly, and everything be good. Sometimes it can take 2 or 3 sessions. It all depends on the dog. Good. Yes.
I I notice one thing that you do that I've never seen done before, and it just makes so much sense. The praise, but the showing of excitement that they did something. You're like, good boy, good boy. Like you
Oh yeah.
hype it up. Uh, and I don't see anybody else doing that, in the dog training world, but it makes perfect sense. You got to make it stand out, or like their name, it becomes wallpaper.
Yes. Yes. And that also gets back into the markers, that positive marker, that yes, getting excited about it. You did the right thing. You're such a good boy, and praise and treat. When you do the negative marker, the too bad, which is what I use. Some people use no. I don't like no because it has a negative sound to it. It
Hmm.
sounds like you're getting on to them. So I like too bad because I can still say too bad in a positive way, and I throw my hands up like too bad and turn and walk away.
Yeah.
So it's not really punishment. It's just you didn't do what I wanted. But so you have the real excited yes and the praise and everything like yes, good job, buddy. Yes. But if he didn't do it, like if I say he's not real good at down yet. So if I say Loki, down, too bad. It's a real quick, it doesn't have any of that excitement and that, this it's not the same.
Hmm.
It's an immediate cut the interaction off. And he would much rather have the praise and excitement and the treat than he would me just turning around and walking off.
It reminds me of the movie Willy Wonka, where there's a scene in there where they had the golden ticket, but it didn't pan out. And it's like, it's almost like too bad. It's like, good day, sir. You lose. You get nothing. That's it. And it sounds like the same thing. It's
Yeah,
like
same concept. Yes,
you
yes,
lose.
exactly.
But
Yeah,
there's a little bit of negativity in there, but it's not so much like, no, you did that wrong. No, it's just like, all right, yeah,
exactly.
yeah, you're not getting anything until you do it right. That's kind of
Yeah.
where we're at. Hmm.
And that's why I'll use wait instead of stay. When you stay, it's really difficult to say stay without being kind of negative, kind of commanding and
Wow.
forceful about it. But when you say wait, wait is a lot gentler word, and so we teach them to we teach clients to say wait instead of stay. You know, for that reason.
You really have
It,
a different approach to this than I've seen before, and I think it's amazing. It's all based on the psychology of the dog, how they're going to interpret it. You always want to ride on the positive side of things, and that's what I'm seeing. How about some of the other markers? What else can we do?
well, the terminal marker break. So like he's in a good sit right now, and if I want him to stop doing that, I'll tell him break, and there he goes, right out of the sit, and he just walks off to do his own thing. Right now, he's kind of in what I call training mode. He thinks we're working right now.
Hmm.
Loki, come, good boy, sit, break, good job, yes. And so what happens is, as you work with your dog, training them, all their basic cues, sit, down, come, hand target, all these things, we get them in a place where they're laying down where they need to be, and you start using break all the time. So every time they're in a sit, every time they're in a down, you say break for them to stop doing. Then later on, when they start doing something you don't want them to do, um, like chewing on the toilet paper, you can say break, and they go back into training. They go, oh, break, stop what I'm doing and go do something else.
Hmm.
So that's called a terminal marker. So you have your positive marker, negative marker, and terminal marker. Yes, too bad, break. Yep. And that's your basic communication with the dog, to let them know you're doing what I want, you didn't do what I want, or stop what you're doing.
So we had a long conversation about treats last time and how there are different categories of treats, and it really does make a difference, especially the premium treat for something like your dog running away, maybe potentially in traffic or something that can be threatening. So that's a premium treat, as we learned last time we got together. What are we treating with Loki right now?
Right now, I'm using they're called Beneful Snackers. I like them. I like soft treats. I don't like real crunchy treats because over time they'll damage their teeth, like really hard, crunchy ones. I like soft treats because any dog, no matter the age, even if they have some bad teeth already, you can still train with them and not hurt the dog. And they
Mm,
digest them easier too. But I like the Snackers. They actually smell good. They almost smell like people food.
right?
And yeah, yeah, Beneful Snackers. They look like peas and apricots, and yeah, there's one that looks like a pod of peas.
Sure, sure.
And it's really easy to break it up into smaller pieces because I like to train. And when you're training, you should use the smaller pieces that all will work for because you don't want to fill them up. You want to get as many repetitions as possible. Yeah.
It's interesting. I just had this thought based on what you just said. In the softer treats, in my experience, usually smell better. And
Yes, they do.
I find that use the softer ones because anytime I give my dog a the harder treat and sometimes even break him in half, he might not consume them at that moment. He might take it and let me go over here and I'm gonna, I have to chew it for a little bit. And then I feel that that's refocusing him away from what the task was. Um,
It is.
and it's almost
Yeah.
as if, oh, I got it, but it's going to take me time to eat it. But I don't want anybody touching it, so I'm going to go over here and hide in a corner and chew it up, and then I'll come back. And now
Yes.
we had a disconnect there.
Yes, yes, it does. It breaks your whole training rhythm. The only time I'll use milk bones.
Mm,
I'll use there's these heart shaped, real high protein treats that Akana makes. Akana is the dog food brand I use for the kibble. Um, they're real high protein. They're shaped like hearts, but they're hard as a rock. But
mm,
things like that I will use when I'm teaching a dog to down, and I want them to hold the down. So they get in their proper down, and I'll put that treat between their paws. So they have to sit there and chew on it for a minute. Even 30 seconds is great, just to teach them duration, to begin teaching that duration in the down. So you can start walking away from them when they're in the down, and they'll hold it. That's how you begin teaching that. It's with a tougher treat like that. I like milk bones for that because they clean their teeth and it gets them to sit there for a minute or lay there for a minute. Yeah.
Is there a benefit in teaching your dog patience? Like, putting a treat in front of them, but they're not allowed to eat it until you say it's okay.
Yes, I teach that as leave it.
Ah,
So yeah, I can Loki leave it, and that's one of these. He's just working for it. He's just staring at it. Loki, watch, watch, and eye contact. So once he makes eye contact, and when you teach him leave it, so normally what I would do when I'm first installing that behavior, I'll put it on the ground, let them see it, and when they go for it, you cover it with their foot. So I would actually do this on the ground, but just the camera so you can see. I'll cover it with my foot, and they'll sniff and they'll go around it and try and get it. When they give up, reward, and then get the treat out from under your foot. Never give them the one that you've covered up, the one that you're telling them to leave. Pick that back up, and if possible, have a higher value treat to give them. So here's this thing on the ground. I want you to leave it. So I teach them leave it, and if you do, you get something even better.
wow.
Yeah.
They really
And then,
do know the difference when it comes to the treats that well that
yeah.
you can use that to your training advantage.
Oh yes, and then when you're out on walks, I have to use leave it all the time on walks because I'm in a subdivision, and I also take them out to nature trails. And I live in a small city, and we've got these great nature trails that go past a creek where people canoe and stuff. There's a lot of people out there, and there's a lot of people that walk their dogs out here. And you don't want your dog to eat, other dogs' mess
Mm.
or wrappers and different things that people drop and throw out their windows. And so having leave it in your arsenal, they will see it and you tell them leave it, and then they look to you. You've taught them to look to you to get something even better than what they're about to go for. And so they learn that if you
Bit-
say leave it, ooh, I'm going to get something even better from dad, you know.
I've been in that situation where, and every dog owner, the same kind of situation. Forget I just said dog owner. I try to abolish that language. It just you as the human to your dog, you're taking him for a walk. They come across some poop from another dog, so now they're interested in it, and you want them not to be. What would you do at that moment?
Um, oh, that is definitely a leave it moment. Or if they're really insistent on it, I will lead them away from it using hand targeting. Leave it, whatever I have to keep them from eating it, because you don't know if that dog has parasites.
Oh,
I mean,
100%. Yeah,
there's all kinds of things. Yeah,
no, 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 no,
inflammation,
no.
bruise, colds, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you do not want your dog eating the scat of another dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
it's just gross. You know.
oh, and mine knows it, and when he's on the leash, all I have to do, I don't do anything with the leash. I just uh, take out some of the slack for a moment, just a second, and he's like, all right, yeah, you got me. I know, I remember now, but I haven't trained him. Like I would love to get him to the point where leave it works, drop it works pretty well with him. Now, in that situation, another dog, left something on the ground, your dog comes across it. Would you be giving your dog a treat to refocus him away from the stuff on the ground?
If I have to, most of these things I've already taught them before we ever even leave the house to go on these walks. So they know how to leave it. They know how to hand target and things. And when we get out there walking, because you always practice it at home before you quote unquote take it on the road. So you practice it at home a week, 15 minutes a day, where you can install any new behavior, any new cue in a dog very solidly. Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Uh, all dogs are different. And I'm curious to find out what was the most recent biggest challenge you had. It could be the dog, doesn't understand, leave it, or a basic command, but it took you time, but the dog eventually picked up on it. Anything stand out for you recently, Jeff?
leash pulling is probably one of the hardest habits to break. I'm going to put him, I haven't taught him to shut up yet. I'm going to put him outside the gate here.
I can't hear him because Zoom
Oh, you
filters it
can't?
out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Good deal. Good deal.
I
I
did
will
hear
put
one
him to,
little before. It
okay.
was a little bit louder, but yeah, I don't hear anything.
Leash pulling is a big one. That's the one that is so self-reinforced. Because the dog, as they pull, it's they're getting what they want. They're getting to go where they want, and they're guiding you. And it's a very hard habit to break in a dog because of that. Because as they were, you've taught your dog to do it. Is basically what's happened. So when you take your dog on a walk, you're letting them be too excited going out the door. You're right off the bat. Their energy is through the roof. They're excited to go for a walk, and you're not making them sit at the door and wait and be calm before they can
Uh,
ever cross that threshold. And that leads to a dog that pulls. And a lot of people, they get those harnesses, you know,
mhm.
and they'll clip them back behind the shoulder blades, the back clip, and that is the strongest point that a dog can pull from. That's why sled dogs get hooked up between their shoulder blades, because
Sure.
they can pull strongest from there. So they don't use a front clip harness, which the front clip harness, if you use that when the dog starts to pull, that front clip spins them straight back around facing you. As soon as they start to put pressure on the leash, they're like, oh, I'm turning the other direction. And so the equipment in that case can help solve a lot of that, but and stop it from starting to begin with. But that's definitely the hardest thing to stop in a dog. It can take multiple sessions over several weeks to stop leash pulling.
Wow.
And that's more training the owner than it is the dog. Because I'll take the dog that pulls massively, is dragging some poor old lady, that she's got a pit bull and it's pulling hard and she don't weigh but 90 pounds wet. And it can drag her across the yard if a cat comes, and I'll grab the dog, the leash, and immediately, I mean, within 10 seconds, he's not pulling. He just walks right beside me because I set that boundary. I never allowed him to pull to begin with. I
We
make
asked
him
for it.
control his energy. Yeah.
And I totally got it. All I need to do is pick up the leash off the counter And my dog right away jumps off the couch. He's like, oh, let's go, put it on me, let's go. I haven't taught anything about patience or wait for a moment. As soon as the leash is clipped on, he's like, I'm like, whoa, wait, well, hold on a second there. He's excited. I'm happy for him, but no, that can be problematic as well. Wow.
Make them sit. Make them sit for everything. So before you put the leash on, they have to sit and be calm. Then put the leash on. If they start to get too excited, back off with the leash. Too bad. Use those markers. Use those markers. And when they're calm, then yes, and put the leash on. The leash getting put on is their reward. That's what they want.
Right.
And then as you go to open the door, if they get too excited, start over. Too bad. Put them back in the sit, close the door, put them back in the sit, start all over. Don't go back to the leash being off. They did that right. Leave it on. But as you go step by step, trying to get out the door and them staying calm, each step, stop and start over if you have to. Go back to the beginning, close the door, have them sit 3 or 4 feet away from the door. Sit, wait, go to open the door. If you crack it open and they jump up, shut the door, put them right back where they were. Sit, start over. Use your markers. Too bad. Sit, start over. If they wait while you crack the door open 3 inches, yes, good job. Praise them. Give them a treat. And it's slow. It takes time. The first time you may spend the whole time you would have gone on a walk, just getting them to stay calm to walk out the door.
Yep.
But by the end of the week, doing it 15 minutes a day, they will be most likely be calm. If you're consistent, they'll be calm before you walk out the door. But
that's essentially changing, if you want to call it bad behavior. We asked for it because I put the leash on. Let's go. Well, I didn't teach you anything. You know what? I can see, Jeff, how you can do this virtually, just the way you speak and the intent that you put into it. It's very easy, very clear. And it's amazing how a lot of these things you say, in my brain, I'm saying, oh, yeah, duh, yeah. I don't think like a trainer. I think like the human. What's the best way to connect with you?
The best way is either through email or phone number. So the phone number is 762-677-8636. And the email is jeff@dare2bond.com. That's dare, the number 2, bond.com.
Fantastic talking with you. I also want to throw out, if anybody has any questions, instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. We'd love to entertain them. Maybe you're having some challenges. Jeff, thank you so much for being here today. Always a pleasure. Always learn something. I love it. It's exciting.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I love it. It's fun.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.